it's Jess Bunty, and I've just started my video in a very generic kind of a way with a hey guys, like most beauty gurus do. Today I want to show you how you can maybe achieve this look on your faces at home, and if you wanted to know any of the products that I've used, I've listed everything down below with Amazon links in the hopes that you'll actually click on it and I can earn a bit of a commission. Now before I move on with the tutorial, I'd like to put some really obnoxious graphics all over the screen to not only try and encourage the minimal amount of interaction between us, but also appeal to a younger audience. And I'd love it so much if this video got to at least 200,000 thumbs up. And you know what guys, I think we can do it. I think we can work together. You are like family. I love you so much, and I don't mean that. And if you're new, please hit subscribe so you can see all my future videos in your feed, yet make a conscious choice not to watch any of them. Okay, I think we're ready to go, so let's get on with it. I'm going to begin by blotting my face because I get extremely oily, and I'm actually going to tell you that instead of pretending like I have absolutely perfect skin. My next step is foundation, and although I would usually use one that I've been using for years and I know is absolutely fantastic, instead I'm going to recommend that you use a different one that I've never used before and I have no idea if it actually fits my skin tone. So today I'm using the designer brand's Longwear 24-hour foundation. You can honestly use whatever you want to apply your foundation. Today I'm using a brush because I'm too cheap to buy a beauty blender. It's also a possibility that this company gifted me this product, but I'm not going to tell you anything about that. Okay, so now that I'm finished with my foundation and I'm pleasantly surprised that it actually worked, I'm going to go in with some concealer. Again, this is a brand new concealer that I've never used before, but I'm hoping that it'll work out. And I'm going back in with my foundation brush because it's not working out. Now I'm going to apply this concealer a little bit more to the rest of my face in such a way that most other beauty gurus do as well, but I don't really know why, and it's not something that I usually do anyway. Smile pleasantly at the camera. Act like you're having a really good time. Now I'm going to blot my face with a clean tissue because after spending about 5 or 10 minutes applying loads of product, it's a good idea to remove at least half of it. Also, I'm an oil slick. The next step is to use powder on my face, which will cover up the other half of the makeup that I didn't just remove with a tissue. It's really noisy. This is the point where I'd probably apologize for the noise. So the next step in this completely normal, everyday, full coverage makeup tutorial would usually be some sort of bronzer or some sort of contour. But because I grew up in a time where I didn't use any of that crap, I don't actually know what I'm doing with it. Also, it looks like actual crap on my face, so instead I'm going to skip right ahead to blush. So of course, I'm using a blush that I've never actually used before, and I'm really hoping that it too doesn't look like complete crap on my face. Looks like I'm going to have to blend. The next step, as we all know, is highlighter, but because I am an oil slick, I don't often wear it. In fact, I never wear it. In fact, I don't even own a highlighter. But I do own an eyeshadow palette, and because I want to be as trendy as possible, I'm going to add some highlighter using an eyeshadow from this palette. Living. Now I'm just adding a little bit of primer to my eyelids, partially because I've been told that this is an important step, but also because I have very hooded eyes and I don't really want any of my eyeshadow to be transferred to my eyebrows. The next step is to apply an almost excessive amount of eyeshadow to my eyes, but because I have very hooded lids and I wear glasses, you'll never actually see any of it. Most people at this stage would usually do winged liner, but I'm not going to because I've just spent the last month and a half of my life watching YouTube videos about how to do winged liner, and I've realized that because of my extremely hooded eyes, it's always going to look like crap. So instead, I'm going to tightline my waterline with a black pencil, and I'm going to just smoke out a bit of black eyeshadow in the hopes that it will look half decent. Now, I'm about halfway through doing my eye makeup at this point, which means it's time for mascara. And of course, you can use whatever mascara you want because they all do pretty much exactly the same thing. That's not even a joke. I'm also going to open my mouth in a really weird way and make some really strange facial expressions while I'm applying mascara, even though I don't actually have to. The next step is to apply some false lashes. And this is again something that I didn't grow up with, so I don't really know what I'm doing when I'm trying to apply them, but I definitely feel like less of a woman if I'm not wearing them. Oh yes, instant woman. After doing an absolutely awesome job of applying my false eyelashes, it's time to do an equally awesome job at applying my eyebrows. And because my eyebrows are like two caterpillars that are constantly fighting with each other, I'm just going to keep things nice and simple and apply a very small amount of brow product. While I was off camera, I actually took this eyelash off, re-glued it and stuck it back on my face, and it's still not working. So let's move on to the lips. So I'm going to apply a little bit of lip balm so they don't look absolutely disgusting. Now we can apply the lipstick. Now my lips are a pretty normal size, which means that they're completely unacceptable these days because they need to look as large as Kylie Jenner's. So I'm going to do a couple of tricks here just to try and make them look as large as possible. Because I've been sitting here so long trying to do my makeup, I've sweated almost half of it off. So it's time to go back in now with some more powder just to get rid of the oil slick. I do hope you enjoyed this video and you do give it a thumbs up and you do subscribe and you do all that sort of stuff because I actually do care. In the comments down below, I would love to know what is the most irritating, obnoxious, or annoying thing that you have heard a beauty guru on YouTube say in their video. Cheers for watching. Hopefully I'll catch you next time. Have a fantastic rest of the day and I'll catch you later. See ya.